You know, it's an inherent behavior for animals to be selfish, sometimes cannibalistic, sometimes unaware, like not having that ability to sort strengths, life, matter out of stuff and situation. That is the reason you see sometimes that a mother pig or any other animal could just give birth now and carelessly match its young, or sometimes intentionally either eat them or yank them off safety, you know. But the difference between these lower animals and humans, you know, in biology we're also told that humans are also animals, but they are higher animals. So why do they call them higher animals? That is the difference. That they have another side of them that should be able to help them decipher, shift, or sieve substance out of every situation, the conscience, to make a difference. That they have spirit or soul, and this body which they can share with other animals. You know, like there are three parts to humans. And if we also link it to the holy books we use, no matter the one you use, you will also discover that there are portions that gave us the hint that God created us in his image and likeness, that is his form. The way God is the way he made man. Like he has a body, he has a spirit. He made man able to also be, to also share these aspects with himself. And some other portions will also let us know that God made us little lower than the angels. That's in hierarchy of existence. After the angels, it will be humans. That's God made us little lower, like in strata, than the angels, you know. Like we're a little bit important and should be knowledgeable. Why am I doing all this philosophy with you? I'm doing that because of the incident in Lagos. It's worrisome. The change of Charlie Boy's bus stop to Bado or Olumide bus stop with a provoking aura to the whole stuff, and even committing time and whatever to force it down the throat of the people whom they perceive might not immediately begin to effect that kind of change that I will call something inconsequential. Usually if names are changed, like street names, it takes time for people to you know, either buy it or take to what they have always known. But this one, and this is amidst several other provocations of political undertone, ethnic undertone in the same Lagos. And like some quarters have also argued that we should not be carried away by these things because it's targeted at something. You know, progress does not come in the atmosphere of unity. And our politicians have come to realize that when people are united, they are able to fight off the one that is selfish or something that will fight against their interests. It is seen in what happened in the Tower of Babel when the people were building skyscrapers and like, let's go and meet God. And in the story, it is said that God gave them different languages that they could not understand each other. Our government keep giving us different languages. And if we think of people who have so divided our country, you will discover that it is coming from our political class. The same people who should be putting the people together. And you ask why. It is like that because of their level of knowledge. I started by making reference to animals, and I said that the difference between them and humans who are higher animals is the conscience. Another difference is education, knowledge. And when we talk education, some people's mind goes straight to the classroom. Knowledge acquisition could be formal or informal, things you pick daily by your interactions, meeting with people, traveling, exposure, by your creed, the kind of person you want to become. You discover that you are constantly trying to develop yourself in that aspect. Any aspect that you're trying to develop yourself in, either to meet up with societal expectation, with standardization or standard operating standards. That's with standardization, minimal operating standards or ethics or whatever you want to call it. It is gathering knowledge, and that is what education is, trying to make a change, cause a behavioral change in an aspect of life. So what makes you different too is that education. So will I say it's lack of education that is making our political class behave like this? And it is this education that fine-tunes you and makes you beyond average, above average, able to begin to beat down the natural tendencies of animals to be cannibalistic, to be competitive. Competition is good, but we have healthy competition and unhealthy competition. And where competition arises in economics, we know is due to scarce resources. Everybody is on their own trying to fend for themselves. At least get yourself fixed first before you begin to think about the next person. So because of the struggle for scarce resources, like they say human needs are insatiable, you see that humans ordinarily are a little bit selfish. Let me sort myself first. But in the jungle, because of lack of education and lack of refinery of behavior, refining of attitudes, of building conscience, and even partly lack of spirituality that helps you connect more to God to understand life. I think people have not even understood God. People have not understood God, and that is why they are trying to put God in their own shoes, in their own pockets, in their own boxes, and think that that is the way God behaves. God is a free spirit, natural, doing things the way it should be. So when you haven't dealt with self to go beyond average, that is when you service this innate tendency to be cannibalistic, to strive only for yourself, to undo the next person just because you want to feel better. So we will say that the people who are governing us are still within their raw state. That is exactly why we clamor that people who are educated, not classroom education alone, this time is part of it, people who are fine-tuned, refined, actualized, people who are beyond average take up leadership and govern our people, because they will know that there is more to life than this undo the next person aspect. And let me bring it down to what I'm talking about, the Charlie Boy situation. I will always make reference of the last election, general elections, the 2023 presidential election, that saw Igbos at the receiving end of hate, especially in Lagos. It was in other parts of the country, but it was hotter in Lagos because of a singular interest, the interest of the APC. And this do or die politics that the APC brings is something we need to root out. We need to root it out. We need it out of our system, out of our governance, out of our country, out. And I want to ask this question. Now that the Super Falcons won the WAFCON 2024-25 season, isn't it beautiful how everybody is commending them? Everybody is in high spirits all over the internet. They're talking about Nigeria. Nigerians are hailing themselves. Other countries are beginning to wonder what is it with Nigeria. And we are proud of ourselves. We are happy. We are elated. We are at this stage of our life where we are feeling good. Is it not good? Is it not good? If we make it our national reality, will it not be better than the people who think that the next person should be undone for them to feel good? I have always said that the only thing we have in common is flesh and blood. The water in our systems, the blood, the plasma now, that the water that makes up the blood. That's what we have in common. What does that mean? That how the other person feels is how you feel. And how they would want to be treated is also how you feel to be treated. And then anybody that does as much as removes that innate right to feel similar to others is barbaric, still in his raw states, needs to be rehabilitated either by being taken off the crowd, the pool, and confined to be refined, rehabilitated, or locked up somewhere in one asylum if they refuse change. So what do we do to these people who are our politicians that continually hit up our system just because they discover that if in oneness we stand, we will be able to break off the yoke they put on our hands. That yoke is keeping quiet when they do away with our general resources. I've listened to Charlie Boy. Nobody does not know that Charlie Boy has an imprint in Lagos. And he never woke up one day to go and write his name on a bus stop. Name begets name. Name. Something begets something. And that is how our lineage have grown in Africa. The son of this person, son of this person, none of this thing, none of that thing. And it is the naming system that made us know that we don't just call names. In Africa, we don't just give names. We give names based on the things we want to see, on the things we have seen, on our experiences, and, the naming system, add your own. So those names come up, and the people give those names. And the people we call leaders are the ones that will force it off us, and push us to accept inhumanity. Charlie Boy has an imprint in Lagos. So if he's being treated as an Igbo man in Lagos, not only him, so many other names are being changed, and maybe they also change some other Yoruba names to make it look like that is what we're doing. But you will know that the timing and the lack of need for it shows you the intentions. The intention is to keep hitting up the politics. I've listened to a very dark man who also saw the undertone, the real message they are hiding. And Charlie Boy, who also said that when they meet politically, you see all of them on the table, whether it's as Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, or any other clan. You see all of them on the table. They are united in their criminality, in their purpose, in their perpetuating themselves in power. And when the people stand united in trying to bet new happenings and governance, they try to scatter it. And it's only the gullible amongst us that fall prey to these things. So I ask again, and I'm using this Super Falcons win as a sample situation. Isn't it beautiful? Imagine what we could achieve as a team of Nigerians, whether of Igbo extraction or of any other extraction. And this Igbo hate in the country is one of the reasons Nigeria has been where it is. Igbos are people you cannot just wish away. You can't wish them away. If you have done something over and over the years and it never gave you a positive result, why repeat it? In both the times of the first, second, third republic, we've had this Igbo question, this Igbo situation. These are a major group that keep replicating themselves, that keep reproducing and are growing, making a larger population of our country. And you want to wish them away? Or pitch them away? You know, I don't know how they intend to achieve this nonsense they keep doing. You cannot wish the Igbos away. And that is also one of the reasons Nigeria has been backwards, because they invested their energy fighting the group of people who would have contributed immensely to everybody's good. You know, the Igbos are not the people. Even this Biafra question, Biafra is an identity. It's just like Oduduwa's, like the Arewas. It's an identity you cannot take away from them. So don't be angry when they call themselves Biafras. When they say the identity, it is there. That Biafran question wouldn't be a weapon if Nigeria had left the Igbos to flourish in their natural state and be themselves like every other Nigerian. But they've pitched themselves against a fraction of this country, the Biafran fraction. And they are fighting that Cold War that has drained everybody, that has drained our resources, that has drained everybody, trying to breed with the Igbos, wasting lives and doing a lot that will never work. It will never work. It will never work. And now let's also look at the WAFCON team. Majority, if not 80%, up to 80% of the populace of, or the composition of our national teams are Igbos. Let me not even call it that percentage, because I never did any study to determine the percentage, but a greater percentage are Igbos. And they are making us proud anywhere. Go to the US, you will see the Igbos in every facet doing things. People will lay hold on few who have done one criminal activity or the other. But these things persist everywhere, even in other countries. Other tribes of Nigeria, you will see there are people of questionable character in every clan. It's something natural. Just like in the settings of every animal, you will see ones that are weak, ones that are strong. Is every society, whether Western, African, whatever, has the good, the bad, and the ugly. So making it a one group stuff will not take us anywhere. Why not focus on our strengths while we are fighting those things we don't like and be where we should have been? You cannot wish the Igbos away. These are people that have the production prowess that should have taken Nigeria to the top echelons of world powers. These are a group of people whose ingenuity would have helped Nigeria flourish. But they are being bridled constantly. What are they afraid of? What is Nigeria afraid of when it comes to the Igbos? You say domination, domination. Whether or not you like it, anybody that will dominate, whether in numbers or in whatever. It is the work you give in that you will reproduce, that you will have results on. So, and look at, because of the same Igbo question, like I said, the Biafran issue wouldn't have been a weapon or a bone of contention if they are not paying attention to say, let's beat these Biafra people down. No. We have to be who we are. Nobody can change you. It runs in the blood. And you cannot keep heating up our polity. Esther Okoronkwo scored the winning goal for Nigeria. She's Igbo. Will you go and take off the goal to say, I will not accept it because an Igbo person scored the goal? Emeka Anyoko represented Nigeria in the Commonwealth and has been a very strong voice. Will you say I will remove it because it's Igbo? Tony Elumelu is making waves in the economy and frolicking with government. Will you say I will remove him because he's Igbo? In areas where he favors the nation, they leave the Igbo. They just leave them there. And where he favors the Igbo side, they want to beat it down. So it doesn't matter how much you change names. It will not change anything. You know, they say he who holds somebody on the ground is equally on the ground. You burn your energy, burn yourself out your time holding that person on the ground without making any progress. But when you stand and leave the person go where they go, you will be able to go where you're going. Nigeria, wake up. This is getting out of hand and we cannot accept it. It should not continue. Look at a local government chairman who is living, the only legacy he's leaving is to be remembered to have engendered strife in Bagada Aziz. Huh? What? These people don't care about the legacies they leave. Look at Ghana on the neck of Nigeria saying Nigeria must go. Down here at home, we are still hitting up our polity and provoking one another. And for the gullible who are always caught in this web, what is it about your Yorubaness? What is it about your Hausaness? What is it about your Igbo-ness without the peace that comes with letting the next person be and letting yourself be? It is my this, it is my culture, it is my brother, it's my this. Nonsense. Nonsense. Everybody is trooping abroad, running abroad. Why are you able to go to another person's land and make a genuine living and make a life? That you are even repatriating money at home is because someone saw you and never pushed you. I never said you're taking all our job. I never said you're living in our country. What? We are having people building empires established in other countries without anybody hunting them. And deep down my heart, the day we fix governance and get it, one of the first things we will remove is state of origin. We're going to be dealing with people with our dates of birth and our names. You know, when you go anywhere abroad to do any official stuff, what they ask you is your date of birth. Immediately they punch your date of birth, your other details come up. It eliminates this issue of I come from this place, I come from that place. Even out of the WAFCON team, about 9, or if not up to 10 of them are from one single state in the southeast, Imo State. Not to talk of Abia State. At least if there's no other person we know that came from Abia State, Esther Okoronkwo is from Abia State. Then start listing the other ones. Our Yoruba sisters and brothers are also there. The ones that are from the north are also there. Why are we pitching ourselves against a particular group of people in the country, hindering our growth as a people? We want our government to stop this. And I speak to younger generation, like I always say, that time is coming when we don't need to fight to be who we are. Because naturally, the children are beginning to understand that their fathers never had a better understanding of life. And they're making changes. They are also traveling to see that in Europe, you can see the Filipino, you can see Indonesian, you can see Asians mixing with any other group. You can see countries mixing up, and nobody is saying you are not a national of this country. And when they describe you, even they will just say things like African-born so person. They don't say they are not our citizens. They recognize that you came from somewhere and that you are here now and part of us. Who do us? Africa is shouting. The West colonized us. They are putting stooges amongst us. And yet you will not decolonize your mind. You are recolonizing yourself with this ignorance of barbarism that you practice. This barbarism, Lagos is setting the pace. And we will tell them as the obedience that it will not stand. Not in this next coming election. Any person that says he wants to be a barbarian, we will bridle him. We will tell them that the society no longer needs such spirit, such hate that is endangering humanity. So it's unfortunate what's happening with the change of road or change of street. How many times have they changed their, when they say Maggie, give me Maggie, you can bring you can bring Royco, you can bring Star, you can bring Ajinomoto, you can bring anything. Maggie is Maggie. There are other examples. Toothpaste, they say is Maclean in Nigeria. What else? NEPA, they changed it to PHCN. I can't even remember PHCN. Since when they changed Twitter to X, Twitter still looks preferable in our mouths. Not like we don't know that another company had bought over the X or Twitter app. So it's the connection in it that makes the name keep lasting. And if the people feel that Charlie Boy bus stop still means a thing to them, there's no amount of printing, no amount of music awareness campaign, musical campaign that will change the connection the people have to something. Because I say name begets name. And I will keep saying, that if the Igbos are not Nigeria, let them be Igbos. And if they are not Igbos, then let them be Nigerians. You cannot deny them both. You cannot deny them both. Say you can never go to your Biafra, you cannot be Biafrans, and yet you cannot be part of this Nigeria and enjoy the Nigerianness. No lie, you cannot breathe the Igbo spirit. Nobody is fronting it or pushing it on anybody. Just allow them be. You are the one reminding them that they are Igbos. You are the one constantly telling them their names. Charlie Boy, in its literal meaning, is not even Igbo. Probably if you had said Oputa, we will check it. But because of hatred, they want to yank off the meaning behind it, the personality behind it. And many more things they keep doing in Lagos State. And I want to remind Lagos State that you cannot take away the contributions of Igbos. And probably most of the people doing this are also visitors to Lagos State. Igbos have a serious history to Lagos, dating back ages. I wish somebody can break it down to these people. You cannot also underestimate their contributions to that state. It is the Igbos that made landlords in Lagos happier, pay them the rent they ask, reconstruct the houses they rent, contribute to constructing streets, open up shops and markets, attract attention with calling their business brothers and keeping the vibes in the streets after work and sales, opening up Lagos State. When we say it, they understand it that we don't think that they are also doing something. Of course, we know that everybody is contributing their bit. Lagosians have also learned from the spirit of the Igbos, have looked up to them, and most Igbos support many Yorubas. What is this nonsense? Just the way life should be. Nobody should glory in such things. But we should understand that we are talking about humanity and not lauding ourselves on ourselves. Igbos have taken over this. Igbos have taken over this. How did they take it over? How? As far as we remember, it's still a free society, a free world. If you take up any giant stride and make any effort to stand out, nobody's going to take it away from you. Why don't you try? Why don't you do what they have been doing and see if you can succeed the same way? A wise man learns from another wise man. A foolish man gets jealous about the wise man and tries to undo him. And in most cases, in doing that, he shoots himself in the leg. So if the people fuel in this thing, it cannot be unconnected with the APC. It's their template. It cannot be unconnected with them. And the APC, I would say, is synonymous to Baba Tinubu, whose ambitions are larger than collective good, building Nigeria as a one formidable state that is the destination of the world. Just power. This is unacceptable. In this 25th century, we are still repeating the mistakes of the past. Where has it got us? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You cannot rule out the contribution of the Igbos. And imagine it that one day, these people wake up and pack every of their stuff and disappear from your Lagos. How will it be? You will say you will take over their houses. Take over now. In few days, you cannot maintain it. It will still be what you didn't build, you cannot maintain. Nigeria, wake up. Nigeria, grow up. Young Nigerians, you have a role to play. Nigerian media, you have a role to play to take us off this mess. Igbos wholeheartedly and willingly want to be part of Nigeria, but Nigeria is pushing them so hard. On that football pitch, they looked up. Alozie looked up from the middle, gave that strike. That's looking up to the post. It's like looking up to saving my country. Yet, she's been treated in disdain. This is terrible. Because she's Igbo. Echegini, that gave that meaning go with Morocco. She's Igbo. Can we do anything about that? No. We can only harness the beauty of unity. Look at the joys in our hearts. All over the entire Nigerians are rejoicing. It can be like that even in our polity. Can we stop? Can we stop? It starts with a collective will, not to be used by politicians. When somebody whips up these sentiments, I tell myself it's not for me. We should be able to decipher. That is the difference between humans and the barbaric animals I mentioned. To pick out, sieve, take off things that will not help, and trash them. And live with a free spirit of humanity. Having everyone at heart. Being happy when the next person is happy. Making sure that I don't break the chain. I'm holding my own side. And giving us the results we want. We want good leadership. And we must vote out the kind of leaders that hit up our polity. Anytime any politician wakes up to say, I am this, I am that. That is why I'm against this, their zoning stuff. And I hope with time it will just go away. And by then we would have fixed Nigeria. To respect us for who we are, each other. I love Yoruba foods. I love Amala. I love Begiri. I love everything. I love Igbo foods. Ofoha. Ofonubu. Okazi. Okro. And what have you. And in Lagos, I discovered that Igbos also influenced the Yorubas to start eating stockfish, okporoko. When they tell us that they launched the NYSC to integrate and to reunite the country, they stand in our highest offices, in our local government, in our state houses, in our Asorok, in our highest podiums, where morality should be of highest standards. They poke the swords. They dash our hope of oneness because of their interest. It will not work this time. It will not work. It has never worked. Neither will it work. Any person who sees himself as a regional champion cannot be a national leader. He will only succeed as a factional leader. And they should not be allowed to take the highest offices in the land. They should go and lead their people. No, they shouldn't even test power because they will keep hitting up that section too. Because as collectives, we make up the whole. Nigeria should heal. I will come back for Ghana. Ghana is making a mess of Africa. A mess of Africa without reasoning, without thinking. Without thinking. May God give us the country we seek. And may God take away the kind of people we call leaders now. May God also open their eyes to lead the change. We will forgive them if they turn a new leaf.